Taken Tank, he came out last year, and I tell you what, he really surprised a lot of people.
Between him and Ian,
yeah,
that was crazy. That was the best conditioning I've ever seen Phil.
And Ian Belliere is who you're talking about out of Canada. He's had this phenomenal last 2 years. Yeah, he did himself well. Your buddy Samson
Dauda.
There it is, like a 32 Ford. Okay, she's just dying to say that name. Samson Dauda. We got Douglas Frucci, Regan Grimes back, the Wonder Boy, another Canadian. Lots of hype. Can he bring it?
This guy brings it. It's over.
Well, he's got Steve Kuklo right next to him. And Steve
the King Snake.
The King Snake is in the house, fresh off an impressive. I think he was.
And listen, he looks really good. Kuklo looks good, but
good.
Again, if Regan brings it, he's tighter because he's holding a little bit of water. Now you notice sometimes we see the front shots, we don't see the back shots because they're trying to hide that little flaw.
Well, as the old saying goes, bodybuilding shows are won from the back. That's a nice saying. It's not exactly true, but we get what it means. You know, the conditioning, the glutes, the back, and the hamstring tying in area. Because if you're in shape from the back, that means you're in shape everywhere.
Right.
That's just the way it goes. Justin Mackey, Estan Muhammad is back in the biz. He did really good last year. Justin Rodriguez and Nathan Spears. So it's a couple new names in there, a couple guys. Nathan fresh off a win at the national championships.
Correct.
And he's a big boy. It took him a while. It's funny because me and him were trading stories the other day, and it's taking him like, I don't know, 3 years, and all this, of course. And I told him, well, it took me 13. So all of a sudden he didn't feel too bad, but he had a lot of runner-up finishes though, which can get frustrating. Trust me, been there, done that, and that can lead to a few more years in the trenches when it comes to getting your growth.
So who do you have winning?
Who do I have winning? Well, now here's the thing, okay? If you're going by rankings, so to say. We don't really have rankings, but if you're going by them, then Bonac has got to be the man to beat. Now, arguably, very arguably, Bonac could have won the Arnold over Brandon Curry. All right? A lot of people had William. A lot of people had the champ, Brandon Curry. When the smoke cleared, it was Brandon Curry. But the argument still continues online a week later that it could have been Bonac. So Bonac is going to be the guy to beat. Don't buy into the travel stuff. And listen, this guy's well-traveled. He's a pro. He's never out of condition. Okay, so we're going to see him. Now, the question is going to be is who's going to be contending. Okay, let's just put him up there as the man to beat. Now you got to put Steve Kuklo in there. Again, top 4 at the Arnold last week. You got to put Samson in there.
Definitely.
He did great last week. Again, another, and that was up against, stiff competition at the Arnold. But now I believe Samson's been here. He didn't go back home, and I believe so. He's been able to be here, be relaxed, get his preps in order. Justin Rodriguez will absolutely be in there. So that's your and Regan Grimes if you got rid of the water.
No, I was kind of disappointed. So Brett Wilkins, who competed at the Arnold Classic, was supposed to be here, dropped out. I would have loved to have seen that.
Why did he drop out?
I have no idea.
Oh man, that could have been a golden opportunity.
Right.
That kid's good. He's going to be good in the future.
Good.
And hopefully we'll see him on a show real soon. But that's going to be your first call. That's my prediction. Bob Stradamus. All right? Bob Stradamus in the mix. If I'm Big Steve, I'm looking at William Bonac, Samson Dauda, Regan Grimes, Steve Kuklo, and Justin Rodriguez. That's your first call-out.
You got to have Justin in there for sure.
Well, there's no question. I mean, now, unless one of those guys is off. Okay, now listen. The judges will give consideration for people that have established themselves, all right? If you're a perennial top finisher, you're going to get that consideration as you should. Steve will give you the opportunity out of respect. Then it's up to you because he'll bring you out of respect. But if you show something different, you're going back in that line, and he's going to bring up somebody else. But he will give you an opportunity. That's what I love about Big Steve when he's calling shows. Now, every judge has their methods and their style, so to say. It doesn't mean it ends up in a different result. Some of them like to work the guys more, some of them a little bit less, some of them think they got it when they initially see it. Big Steve likes to let the guys compete. And listen, we see you can change, just like he said in the interview with Mark earlier. You can see a physique change in minutes.
Right.
We've seen people, we call melting on stage, right? You come out and you go, wow, look at this guy. Man, he might win this show. And all of a sudden they go through one set of poses and it looks like he's melting.
Oh, and then it's the opposite. We see them where they look smooth or so, and then they start posing to get harder and they start coming out to life.
No, listen, I remember Gustavo Bedell some years ago. He started about 8th place, there's no lie, at the Olympia, and kept working. He ended up in 3rd place.
Well, we'll see.
That's a huge jump.
We'll say something more recent. Derek Lunsford before he became 212. You remember that?
That's right. But Derek always had to play catch-up. That was his hope so. And when you say see him at the, I want to see him on stage at the Olympia, in the open, not in the audience.
But here's going to be the tricky one. I know it's off topic. Sean Clarita, are we going to see him in the open?
No. And I'm going to go on a limb because the rules don't dictate that you can go in both. Okay, now that was established many years ago. For those that don't know what we're talking about, so Sean Clarita is actually qualified for both the 212 and the open. Now, people say, well, you can go in both then. It's like, no, they're two different divisions. Okay, even though it's bodybuilding, they're two different divisions, not two different weight classes. That's a distinction. Okay, the 212 is a division unto its own. The men's open division unto its own. That's different than, let's say, men's bodybuilding, light, heavy, middleweight, right? No, those are classes in a division, okay? That's the difference, but the current rules state that you cannot enter both. So he's got to make a call on what he wants to do. Personally, I'd stay in the 212. I don't see any advantage of him really going in the open. And listen, let's not get things mixed. He did great at the Legion. He won it fair and square, and he beat two big boys, but Olympia's a different deal.
So who else do we have? The bikini, right? It's next. What do we have next?
We've got the other classes. It looks like we're getting ready to start. So we're going to keep our eye on the monitor here, and so we're in the booth. So we're actually in the auditorium itself, so we can actually see the action, which is cool.
Just turn around and look.
Well, you can turn around. We got we got some great hardware here in front of us, but it really helps though when you can call the action and see it at the same time. So we're not in a different room. So. Looks like MC Shannon Day is making her way to the stage, and she's going to get things going here at the Boston Pro.
And welcome to the inaugural IFBB Boston Pro. Thank you so much to everyone in Boston for coming out today, and everyone across the globe on our live stream. We have 7 IFBB Pro League divisions this morning, full of amazing athletes. So we are ready to start with our first division, fitness.